Hello everyone and welcome back. The firearms that you are looking at are both Smith & Wesson EZ shields. The one on the left is a .380 and the one on the right is a .30 Super Carry. Smith & Wesson also offers this same size handgun in a 9mm. Since the handguns are all the same size, it begs the question, why would anyone opt for the .380 when they could have the harder hitting .30 Super Carry or 9mm? One of the main reasons given for the .380 is that it is ideal for recoil-sensitive shooters and/or people that cannot operate the slide very easily on the 9mm due to their poor grip strength. While those may be valid reasons, I think we can do better. The main reason you may opt for the full-size .380 is this gun right here. This is the Smith & Wesson Bodyguard in .380. Ruger also makes the LCP, and Kel-Tec offers the P3AT, which are all basically the same size gun in .380 of course. These pistols are made small enough that you can always have one on you. After all, they call them pocket pistols for a reason. From a tactical point of view, there is nothing wrong with having your full-size pistol and your backup pistol both be in the same caliber. Keep in mind that the full-size .380 will clean up some problems that you may not have even noticed with your pocket pistol. We will demonstrate how the full-size is less prone to malfunctions, and due to the longer barrel length, the bullets will have increased velocity and increased punching power. You may remember that in the early 90s, the .40 Smith & Wesson came along, and many people, law enforcement agencies, and the FBI left the 9mm platform in favor of the larger bullet. However, the engineers were not done working on the 9mm to improve its performance. And in 2014, the FBI abandoned the .40 in favor of a return to the 9mm, with many other agencies to follow. In other words, .40 became the new 9, and then 9 became the new .40. While no one has been looking, those engineers have snuck back into the lab and have been left alone with no adult supervision. It would seem that they have turned their attention to the .380, and it has many people asking, is .380 the new 9? One of the complaints about the .380 is that it doesn't generate enough speed to cause hollow point ammunition to open up, or if it does expand, it may not offer deep enough penetration. Remember that the two main jobs that defensive ammunition has is to dump energy more rapidly than ball ammo and to not penetrate as much. This being the case, there is a new breed of defensive ammo for .380 that does not need to expand to fulfill the roles just listed. Keep in mind that with a larger size .380 that the hollow points achieve greater velocity and are more likely to expand. But rather than depending on a hollow point to function reliably or not, we will focus on these two bullets right here. On the left is the Underwood 90 grain deep penetrator, and on the right is the Federal American Eagle 70 grain lead-free ball. In order to add some perspective, we're going to test some other options as well. We will start by shooting the 95 grain ball CCI Blazer, which is on the far left, to see what a basic .380 performs like, and then we will shoot the 115 grain 9mm to see how a basic 9mm performs. Then we will test out the 70 grain lead-free ball, the 90 grain extreme penetrator, and we'll also finish up with the 102 grain Remington Ultimate Defense compact handgun round, more commonly known as the Golden Saber hollow point. We're getting ready to shoot at these 10-pound blocks of clay using a .380. The ammunition will be the 95 grain ball ammo from CCI Blazer, and the handgun will be the Smith & Wesson EZ Shield. Well, we're walking up right now to the 10-pound blocks of clay that were just hit from a pretty close distance with a .380 auto using that CCI Blazer 95 grain ball out of the Smith & Wesson EZ Shield. And when you look at it, it looks like I just kind of punched a hole straight through block number 1, right through block number 2, and the 3 water jugs in line behind it, not much hydrostatic damage. It just seemed to punch a pretty clean hole, not only through the blocks of clay, but through 3 water jugs after the fact. We'll see if we can flip these blocks of clay open or over. Let me see if we can get these flipped. Hang on. And here's what they look like on the underside. It looks like they were somewhat fused together. We'll do our best to cut those open for you today and see what she looks like on the inside. So I don't think you'll be able to really tell much from this angle here. We're getting ready to shoot at these 10-pound blocks of clay with a 9mm, 115 grain ball ammo from PMC out of a Glock 17. Well, we're walking up right now to the 10-pound blocks of clay that were just hit at a pretty close distance with a 9mm using the 115 grain ball ammo by PMC, fired from a Glock 17. If you look close, you can start to see some daylight through the entrance hole and perhaps a small puddle of water in there as well. The bullet did rip through both blocks of clay. Did do some type of hydrostatic damage to that first water jug in line. Let me see if we can take a closer look at that. Some damage there. It went into water jug number 2, out of water jug number 2, went sideways a little bit, went into water jug number 3, and I believe we'll actually be able to recover this from water jug number 3. Yep, there it is. There's your exit hole on that second block of clay, and we'll be cutting those open in a moment for you as well. And here's what the bottom side of those blocks of clay look like after getting hit with the Glock 17. We're getting ready to shoot at these 10-pound blocks of clay with a 380 using the 70 grain lead-free ball from American Eagle out of the Smith & Wesson Easy Shield. Well, we're walking up right now to the 10-pound blocks of clay that were just hit with 380 auto using that American Eagle 70 grain lead-free ball ammo. Looks like there's a pretty good entrance hole here. It did not rip through 3 jugs of water afterward. It went through both blocks of clay. It ripped through 1 water jug afterward. We might be able to find it laying in the dirt, we'll see. And all of the rest of the water jugs are unharmed behind it. In terms of the damage here, see if we can look in there. Might need to get a flashlight on this. We'll definitely try to cut this open as well though. Well, I've got a flashlight in there now. I just don't think that's going to really do us justice to see what kind of internal cavity is in there. So we'll certainly do our very best to cut this one open in a few minutes for you. Well, I was able to at least flip the blocks of clay over onto their side. As you can see, that first block of clay, really a lot of energy got dumped into it, and you can see the indentations of the clay as it was getting pushed through the clay pretty good there. On the back side, not much of an exit hole though. We're getting ready to shoot at these 10-pound blocks of clay with a 380 using the 90 grain Extreme Penetrator by Underwood out of the Smith & Wesson Easy Shield. Well, we're walking up right now to the 10-pound blocks of clay that were just hit with the 380 auto using that Underwood ammo 90 grain extreme penetrator. If you look close, you can already see some daylight through the entrance hole there. But rather than having you look at the entrance hole just yet, I'm going to ask you to try to look at the sides of this block of clay. You can see the ridges or the bulges on the sides, especially on this side here. On the top, you can see some bulges on the top where energy tried to escape. It did rip. Well, here's the back of that block of clay. First water jug ripped right through it. Second water jug, it went into that second water jug, and I believe we will actually find this one in here today. There it is. We'll pour that out in a moment for you. And here is the underside of the blocks of clay that were just hit with the extreme penetrator 90 grain ammo from Underwood. Well, I was able to pour out that 90 grain extreme penetrator by Underwood. Here's what it looks like. Looks like it's in pretty much perfect condition. No deformation on it at all from what I can tell, and I'm pretty sure 100% weight retention also. We're getting ready to shoot at these 10-pound blocks of clay with a 380 using a 102 grain hollow point by Remington, also known as their Golden Saber bullet, out of the Easy Shield. Well, we're walking up right now to the 10-pound blocks of clay that were just hit at a pretty close distance with a 380 auto using the Remington Golden Saber 102 grain hollow point out of a Smith & Wesson Easy Shield. I do not believe that it made it through the blocks of clay, but if you take a look at it here, you can certainly see where it deposited a lot of damage, deposited a lot of energy in that first block. A little bit different angle of it here. Let's double check the back and see if anything made it through. It did not make it through to the water jugs all. Well, I've got the blocks of clay turned on their side at this point. This again was block number 1 in line, so you can see the pressure that pushed the clay right through the crate. Well, before I tell you guys the answers and give it away, these are all of the blocks of clay that were just hit with either a 380 or a 9mm. They've all been cut in half. The hollow point, we'll still cut that one in half in a minute. Can anyone really tell me for sure which one was the 9mm? Take a close look. Do you think it was this one, this one, this one, or this one? Give you the answer in a moment. Well, I've got these arranged in a little bit better sequence now. This block of clay was cut in half. It was the 95 grain ball ammo. Here was the entrance side. There's the exit on that one. Here you have the 9mm right next to it. This was the entrance side. Here was the exit. Notice on the exit, that's where you seem to have the deeper body cavity, is by the exit. Next up was the 70 grain bullet, the lead-free. Here's the entrance side on both. So you have a massive temporary body cavity, at least massive compared to what your ball ammo was. And I'd say it's probably at least, it's comparable to that 9mm body cavity. I don't see a lot of difference, honestly. The only difference is the body cavity is right there at the front, as opposed to the body cavity being deeper inside of the clay. And then you have the Underwood ammo right here. Here's the entrance side on each. Here's your body cavity. Again, just like the 9mm, the body cavity is a little bit deeper inside. And if you were to look at this right next to the 9mm, which we will in a moment, I think that Underwood might be a little bit bigger body cavity. Well, here they are right next to each other. Again, the 115 grain 9mm fired from a Glock 17 with a longer barrel than the 380 was. This is your Underwood. It seems to me like that body cavity right there is bigger. Again, here's your body cavity on the Underwood compared to the 9mm. It just seems like that body cavity on that Underwood is a little bit bigger than on your 9mm. Well, right before I cut this block of clay open for good, this is the Remington Ultimate Defense Compact Handgun. This is one of the blocks of clay that I had that I forgot to turn the mic on when I was actually recording it, so I recorded it with a terracotta block instead. But I figured it won't hurt to cut this block of clay open. You can see that bullet lodged in there all the way at the back wall. It almost came out the back, but not quite. So we'll cut that open in a moment for you. Well, here's the back side of that block of clay that we're about to cut open, where we hit it with the 102 grain Golden Saber. As you can see, there's the bullet itself. So it almost made it through block number 2 on the clay. Well, we're getting ready to cut the terracotta block open in a moment here. Again, this is the one that you did actually see get hit with that 380 102 grain hollow point. So you can see it looks like a lot of the body cavity was right there on the front. And again, that bullet is probably lodged against the back wall of that block of clay. All right, well, here are both of the blocks that I just now cut open that were hit with that 102 grain Golden Saber 380 bullet. Here's the white one. The bullet actually stopped right about there. Same with the terracotta colored clay. Bullet stopped right about there. And as you can see, now here's the entrance side. As you can see, massive energy transfer just right away. But then after that, the wound channel really narrowed. Whereas when you look at something like that 70 grain bullet, you still had some pretty respectable energy transfer right away, but the wound channel didn't narrow quite as much. Again, here's your Underwood ammo. Energy transfer right away, and even more later. Again, here's your 9mm, and some energy transfer right away, more later. And then again, here's just your plain Jane 95 grain ball ammo, 380. Well, here are both of your 102 grain Golden Saber bullets that have been recovered. They're not really bonded. This one managed to stay together. This one right here seems to have broken apart, as you can see. I'll weigh those when I get home and find out what those weigh for you, though. At this point, we will take a minute to discuss and to demonstrate how a full-size 380 can help to avoid malfunctions. We will start by shooting the EZ Shield and then the Bodyguard side by side with the exact same 95 grain ball ammo to see which one had the malfunction and which one did not. Wait a minute, I didn't see a malfunction in either one, did you? Let's slow it down and look again. In case you missed it, both firearms went bang when I pulled the trigger, but only the EZ Shield actually ejected the spent casing and loaded a new round. This is one of the worst malfunctions you could have as the shooter, because everything seems to function correctly, and the slide even starts to cycle, and then slams forward like normal. The problem is that the slide did not cycle all the way back and eject the spent casing. This is not uncommon for these pocket pistols. Keep in mind that in order to reduce recoil on these small and very light pistols, they have a rather heavy recoil spring. They are designed to function best on 90 grain ammo or heavier. We will, however, spend a few moments chronographing the 70-grain lead-free ball from both the bodyguard and the EZ shield to see if there is a velocity increase, and more importantly, to see how they cycle in each. We're getting ready to chronograph the 380 auto. This will be the Federal American Eagle 70-grain lead-free ball through a Smith & Wesson bodyguard. 1060, 1060. 1072, 1072. 1047, 1047. 1019, 1019. 1040, 1040. We're getting ready to chronograph the 380 auto. The ammunition will be the Federal American Eagle 70-grain lead-free ball out of a Smith & Wesson EZ shield. 1149, 1149. 1138, 1138. 1119, 1119. 1138, 1138. 1107, 1107. 1111, 1111. Well, that concludes our work for today. If you have liked today's video, please remember to click the like button, do subscribe, and don't forget to turn on that notifications link if you haven't already done so. And as always, we're looking forward to your comments. We thank you again.